Truth Unveiled here, and today I have some interesting stuff to share with you. We're going to be talking about the world ahead for 2024 with the Economist cover. We're also going to be taking a look at the cryptic clues of this cover, some potential predictions that could be made within the cover itself, and also taking a look at what this could mean spiritually and for the end times as well. So we're here at the Economist website where it says Introducing the World Ahead 2024. Now they say analysis, predictions, and speculation through future gazing. Of course, we know to stay away from any of that. The reason we're taking a look at this cover is to what? Expose the evil that is ahead. And again, we have to do what? Be awake, alert, and aware of the world around us so that you are ready at all times for YAHUAH, YAHUSHA, indeed. So now we're going to take a look at that cover and see what it is that they're talking about. Now, in case you're new to this network, we've done this in the past where we've talked about and gone over previous covers and previous years of The Economist. So it's very important that you have an understanding of what it is that they're telling you, the predictive programming that they're putting right in front of your face. So this is how the cover looks itself. Now, as you can see right here, this is what it's showing. This is the actual look of it. We're going to take a look and zoom in just a moment to come. But before we do, I just wanted to show you the entire cover to its entirety. And as you can see right here, it shows certain world leaders. It shows what appears to be having to do with the you-know-what is Big Brother watching you. Now, a lot of this cover has to do with what? The upcoming election or selections that are coming up with the ballot boxes, and then it also hints at the eclipse as well. So let's go over that one by one. Now, when we zoom in, the first thing that we see when we go towards the top, so here we are if you're following along, so we see over here these things that are listed in bullet point form, sort of. So the first thing that jumps out to me that's very interesting and suspicious indeed is the fact that it says Chat GPT at work. Artificial intelligence gets real. Now, for those of you who remember about a month ago or so on this network, we talked about that and did a video on this very topic actually of AI and what to expect in 2024 and how they're really going to be pushing this beast system technology. So that's really honestly the first thing among many things on here is when it comes to artificial intelligence, getting ready and implementing the beast system technology, the biometric system. Folks, that's why we've been talking about on this network for how many years now about these different technologies, about these biometrics, about the identification, about them putting and installing cameras into the street lights and how Big Brother is watching you. And we're going to see that on the actual cover itself as well. I found this one to be interesting where it says Green Giants, the new geopolitics of energy. So once again, they're going to be pushing this so-called climate change agenda. And we're going to be doing another video, YAHUAH willing, on that very topic of the COP28 that was held on this very topic just a few weeks ago. But again, it's interesting that they're going to be pushing that. Why are they pushing that? For what? Increased taxes to continue stealing your money, the little to no money that you probably already don't have. Europe steps up, Trump-proofing Ukraine. So once again, they're hinting at what? Wars and rumors of wars, just like scripture talks about. It's interesting how they say Trump-proofing because we also see Trump in this cover itself as well that we're going to be going over and talking about later on. Then it says multipolar disorder. Now it's interesting that they would bring up disorders and mental health. What is it that they're alluding to? And could this have something to do with the you-know-what? For those of you who've been following for years, you already know what I'm talking about. But then it says an undeclared Cold War. Once again, wars and rumors of wars. What are they hinting at? Could they be hinting at a potential civil war? Isn't there going to be a movie called Civil War that will be released next year in 2024? Very interesting and suspicious indeed. And then, of course, another thing that they mentioned too is Votorama, democracy in the spotlight. Yes, because the 2024 elections, they want you to believe that the president is elected and that the people actually have control over who gets into office, even though they serve the same devil, when the fact of the matter is what? Presidents are selected, not elected. ID serpents indeed. Then it says beyond Gaza, turmoil in the Middle East. So again, they're pushing this conflict, as we talked about before, between Palestine and the Middle East and everything that's going on over there. But again, folks, you have to understand that why does it say beyond Gaza? Are they hinting at even wars outside of that? Are they hinting at even more turmoil, planned and staged turmoil that's going to be even beyond that? Let's find out. So now getting to the actual cover itself. So now you see, now the first thing that you need to be paying attention to is the color. So you see the red and the blue. So you see that contrast right there. Again, what is that potentially hinting at? Race wars and race riots, as we've talked about on this nation. Again, how do they conquer? Divide and conquer. That is a Roman ideology that has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. Again, if you can divide the people and turn them against one another, if you can divide the Christians among the Muslims, if you can divide certain groups of people among each other and certain identities, well, then you have a better opportunity of controlling them. And that's exactly what this article is showing, what this picture is showing, and what this cover is showing. Now, it's just interesting that it's also showing who the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, and also the Ukrainian president. I'm sorry, I don't know the name right off the top of my head, but this is supposed to be depicting the Ukrainian president with a full-fledged beard right here. Now, it's interesting that they have what right here, again, the whole space and NASA references again, but do planets really exist? That's for you to decide. And also what? It's showing missiles and so-called nuclear wars indeed. Could this be hinting at World War III? And in between them is what? The hourglass telling time. That what we've talked about on this network with the cryptic symbolism that had to do with time's up. Time's up. Didn't we talk about that with when they showed you the Academy Awards, or one of those awards, the Golden Globes, that showed you time's up? And they did this for 2 years in a row that coincided with the 400-year prophecy. Very interesting and suspicious indeed. This is showing you what? It's only a matter of time before what? The war tensions escalate and heighten beyond heights. And again, now this part is interesting right here too, because they show you a dove, which has to do with what? It's peace, and they're going to claim that, oh, it's peace, and oh, that everything is okay, but is it really? They're going to try to feed you and sell to you this narrative that, yeah, everything is perfectly normal, everything is back to normal, post the you-know-what, everything is fine, the stores have reopened, everything is good, right? Well, is that really the case? Now, it's just interesting because according to the UN, what? The United Nations, or the UN Day of Peace, is on what day? September 21st, 2024. Now, what's interesting about that day is that next year, that day is going to be on a Shabbat. Wow, what perfect timing. What impeccable timing. Not only that, but it's what? Days before September 23rd as well. And we've gone over on this network the importance of that time in day around September 22nd, September 23rd, and how tons of movies have foreshadowed that day. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, you could take a look at the video that was done on this network about that and my thoughts regarding that. Now, of course, that's for 2023. However, next year, 2024, will mark what? 23 years after 9/11 as well. So that's something to definitely take a look at and keep in mind. So again, we see all of the war tensions. We see all of the so-called space tensions as well, the red, white, and blue. Now, interesting, red, white, and blue is the colors of the American flag too. And they what? They're showing and hinting at war between Ukraine and Russia. Not only that, but Trump as well. Now, it's interesting that Trump just has a candidacy for 2024. Could Trump potentially come back to office and lead all of this? It's very well possible indeed. Now, I'm not sure what the woman is hinting at here. It could be something that has to do with women's rights. And again, if you have anything that you would like to add that's very interesting and suspicious indeed about all of this, please do so in the comment box below so that we can really understand better what this is really trying to show us here. I'm going to do my best to zoom in and out at certain parts, but as we keep going, what do they also show here? The eclipse. Now, it's just interesting because, again, the Great American Eclipse will be occurring on so-called April 8th, 2024, and not only that, it will be occurring during an appointed time, which will be the spring appointed times. Not only that, but as we've gone over and talked about on this network, that what? This eclipse is not only an eclipse to look out for a few reasons prophetically, but it makes the X marks the spot over America because the first eclipse occurred in 2017 going in one direction, and this eclipse is going the other direction. So again, X is the Thur, the Tav, the final letter of the alphabet with the number 400. The 400-year prophecy that's talked about in Bereshith, Genesis 15 verses 13 through 14, in Acts chapter 7 verses 6 through 7. Well, you know who the real people of Scripture are and where they are today and where they've been for the past 400 years, then everything starts to make sense. Because what does it say afterwards? That nation will he judge. So soon enough, this is hinting at what? Judgment to come. Will it be next year? It very well could be. You need to be awake, alert, and aware of the world around you just in case. But they're what? They're foreshadowing that eclipse that will take place. And not only that, as we've also gone over on this network, the eclipse will occur when? 2,000 years after the eclipse that occurred on the day that YAHUSHA died on Passover. Wow, is that a surprise or a coincidence? It's not looking like it. I don't think so. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, please take a look at the videos that are linked because I really just don't have time to go over all of that. Once again, the videos themselves will go over it in depth if you have not seen them already. Now, here we see a ballot box as well. Again, hinting at these so-called elections or selections. Now, over here, this part is very interesting to me. Again, the big brother watching you, but you also have what? The brain cells right here and everything connected to the brain cells. Again, could this be hinting at the you-know-what that was instituted and that was given and administered back in 2020 and 2021? Could this be the year that they decide to finally activate it? Because again, folks, as we've talked about on the previous network, when it was a network, we told you the ingredients that were in it. And not only did we tell you the ingredients, but we even show you and prove to you how the you-know-what contains DNA altering things and substances that can alter your DNA. So could this potentially be activated during that time? Do you remember that movie Kingsman with Samuel L. Jackson, where in the movie, Samuel L. Jackson's character promoted a free cell phone, and with that free cell phone, eventually, after some time, what happened in the movie? People's heads exploded when they got it because of the technology and due to the technology in it. Now, again, I'm not trying to scare anyone, but could this be potentially alluding to the you-know-what, the people who received it, that what? It could be activated during that time. And again, what could it lead to? Again, we will have to see, but could it be leading to that? And again, the technologies as well, the DNA altering technologies, the AI through this AI chat GPT system. Again, it looks fine on paper, but when you really see it, you start to see the bigger, more sinister, nefarious agenda indeed. So not only that, there's that, but then over here we see what appears to be a question mark. So what? A potential economic collapse with the pound, the dollar, and then also the euro as well, and then also potentially the yen and other currencies. So international currencies could be in a frenzy, and again, how it shows in the scales going downward. So again, could this lead to economic collapse? Could this lead to civil unrest? Could this lead to cashless societies, as we've also talked about on this network and channel 2? That is for you to decide. But as we keep going further, we once again see what appears to be an eclipse, but now instead it's both what? It's blue and red. So again, could this be what? Race wars and race riots and all of those things that could potentially be starting forth as well. Now, as you go below, as we see over here, we see what? What appears to be pentagrams as well. So again, the 666 mark of the beast. Now, we've gone over what the real mark of the beast is. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can take a look at the Rumble channel to find those videos that were re-uploaded, that were done back in 2016. Now we see over here the Chinese president, and then what appears to be potentially fires, or could it be wildfires, or what? Temperatures going up, temperatures increasing, the world getting warmer, the world getting hotter. Could that potentially be showing you something or alluding to something? Again, folks, they're going to play into their climate change card, or so-called climate change. Oh, the world's getting warmer, so there's climate change. Oh, the world's getting warmer, and we need to fight off this threat. Oh, this is a big threat, and this is everyone's problem. This is everyone's issue, and we need you on board to what? Carbon emission taxes, taxing you and stealing more of your money is part of the agenda, and that's why they want everyone to go green. Green giants, everyone go green. Use electricity, electric cars, electric this, electric that. So again, folks, that is the bigger agenda and what it's leading up to. Now, it's interesting that right here they have a picture of South America and Eastern Asia, as well as Australia and New Zealand. Now, folks, if you're wondering what this is, or if you have any insight to this, please let us know. When I look at this, the very first thing that comes to mind for me is BRICS, or Brazil, Russia, India, China, and so-called South Africa, the agreement that was made between these nations about what? War declarations and coming against America specifically as well. So again, could this also be more potential weather outbreak and also weather warfare in these regions too, like the Ring of Fire, as we've gone over in 2016, and all the different weather patterns? You already hear about that. That's going on in places such as Iceland with these volcanic eruptions and all these earthquakes and stuff that are going on and taking place. Will there be an uptick of these things in these places and regions? Of course, time will tell. We'll have to wait and see on that. But then they also show Joe Biden as well, and what appears that could be a hurricane. This could be so many different things. Windmills and energy. Again, they're going to keep feeding the public into those things. So as a recap, some of the things that this cover is hinting and alluding to is definitely the AI, or the artificial intelligence, that again is going to be projected and forecasted onto the world. Again, folks, what they're trying to do is assemble their what? NWO, New World Order and One World Government. And the way for them to do that is what? Problem, reaction, solution. They cause the problem and then offer the solution to their own caused problem. How do they do that? By telling you, oh, this is a big threat for all of us. Oh, this is a threat that affects all of us. This technology is going to be beneficial to everyone, and for everyone that has the you-know-what, when it's finally activated, oh, this is going to be beneficial to everyone. So everyone needs to get away from cash, get away from that old system, and embrace the new system. With what? And what is that going to lead up to? More spying, more following you. They're going to be able to track your every movement. They can already do that now with your cell phone. They can already do that now with your car. They can already do that now with your dishwasher. It's only going to be heightened for what? To prepare for the beast technology. So that's the agenda with the AI. They also hint at and foreshadow with the economic collapse that will soon be occurring. That's already occurred. The test has already happened in America, folks, with inflation, hyperinflation, and then on top of that, not only did they have the nerve to close everything down and bankrupt certain businesses, but they're already doing that with a planned recession, and it's only going to heighten an uptick because, again, folks, when people cannot go to the store and get their food, when people cannot go to the store and get their groceries, if there is an economic collapse or a power outage or an EMP, which this is even sort of alluding to, then what is going to happen? Civil war, because people are not going to be able to get certain things. They're going to start raiding houses and rioting. That's what this is preparing for. Will it be next year? We're just going to have to wait and see. And again, they also depict a Cold War. Could there potentially be a third World War or World War III, just like what was depicted in World War Z? Very interesting and suspicious indeed. And it's just interesting that what? Generation Z has now become a thing. World War Z, your government already told you and planned and plotted for a zombie apocalypse. The plans are already in place. The technology is already implemented. The system is already there. The infrastructure is already there to collapse and bankrupt the system internally and turn it into a domestic war. And again, they also depict and foreshadow so-called climate change and civil war as well. So again, it's important that you see all of this with both your eyes open. It's important that you stay awake, alert, and aware to the world around you. It's important that you are seeking YAHUAH and his true son YAHUSHA like never before, because as you see, folks, this stuff is really happening. This stuff is really real. They're putting the truth right in front of you before it even happens. This is just the predictive programming, subliminal witchcraft that they like to do with the public to condition the public to be ready for it at all times. But the question is, are you ready for it? Are you prepared? Or do you think that this is just some cover? Do you think that this is just some mumbo jumbo? Do you think that this is just some cover that just so happens to have all of this? Do you think that this is just some surprise or coincidence? It's not looking like it. I don't think so. But again, that is for you to decide indeed. But this is just Truth Unveiled here, keeping you updated with the latest and saying as always, Shalom.